Hi, Director of Communications at Brentwood, Ian McPherson here, sitting down for our second Spotlight Q&A. This week we're actually sitting down to get a student perspective. We're with our Head Prefect, Didi Olatunbosun, who is in Saudi Arabia right now, and we're going to ask her a couple of questions to get a view from her seat. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for writing in and telling me how great my pandemic beard is. I really appreciate it. It's going over like gangbusters here at home. Everybody loves it. On another note, let's get to Didi. So Didi, we have students from all around the world who are doing distance learning, tons of different time zones. You are one of those people. How are you dealing with a new sleep regime as you approach your studies?
Yeah, so I'm in Saudi right now, which means that I'm 10 hours ahead of Brentwood time. And so, especially during that first week, it was definitely difficult trying to figure out the perfect time to go to sleep and the time to wake up. If I should go to classes, if I should just watch the recordings. And I think ultimately it just came down to, am I gonna be okay if I don't see Ms. Patel speak at assembly? And I decided that, I would just kind of switch my schedule to accommodate Brentwood's schedule. So I wake up at around 2 p.m. in the afternoon and then stay up, do classes, go to meetings, whatever, and then I wind up going to sleep at around 4 a.m. And it's honestly not the worst thing in the world. Like sometimes when I explain it to people, they're like, why would you do that? But honestly, it's so good being able to see my friends, see some of my teachers, and just have a little bit more social interaction than just my parents, because especially now, like Saudi just went on full lockdown. So 24 hours have to be in your house unless you're going to the grocery store. So yeah, I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, that can be tough. I mean, I can only imagine having to reset your schedule like that. How are you dealing with the increased screen time? Has that been an issue at all?
Okay, so for the screen time, I normally wear glasses or contacts, and for the past year I've been wearing contacts every single day. So I left my glasses at school and I only brought enough contacts to last me maybe a week after spring break. So now I'm out. And so on top of having all the screen time, like I get a lot of headaches just because my eyes are straining a lot. And so what I do is when I'm in classes and say the teacher's just talking and not really showing us anything on a screen, I just turn down the brightness to the lowest one before 0, just so that my eyes can have a bit of a break. And what else do I do? I also try not to use my phone as much, just because even if I'm in bed and I'm scrolling and stuff, my eyes will start to hurt. And so I think I've just become a lot more aware of how much screen time I really do have in a day. And so, I'm just trying to do a couple of things to combat that a bit.
Another thing that we're seeing, is that obviously we're inundated with news around COVID, and there's inherently some increased anxiety and some stresses around that. What advice would you have for your fellow students about how to cope with that, and how are you coping with that?
I think a lot of people actually have it a lot worse than me, like coping with not being able to see my friends and experience my grade 12 third term. I think a lot of people do have it a lot worse because I started off at Brentwood in grade 9, and so everything that's going to happen, obviously I've never been to the future, but I've seen it happen before. I've seen many grade 12 experience their grade 12 third term, and there's not a bunch that I'm missing out on, but I do really feel for international kids or people who've only been at Brentwood for a year, who have that part taken away from them. And I think to try and cope with that, it just comes to a lot of thinking about, okay, what do I do with this time? Like, what is this for? Because I am a firm believer that everything does happen for a reason. And so I think maybe just thinking about, like, taking it a step further. Of course, we're in quarantine, we're in isolation, but then also saying, okay, so what do I do now? What's the next step? Because you can't really just stay stagnant and let life happen to you. I think you have to kind of put your best foot forward and think, okay, let me take this time to reconnect with people I haven't spoken to in a while. Let me take this time to read more. Let me take this time to talk to my family, Maybe. Just a lot of different things that you can do to try and make the situation better for yourself so that once it's over, you're positioned even better than you were when you went in.
Yeah, great advice. Last question. I know that you're missing number 1 inspections, and who doesn't? But the other thing is, what else are you missing most?
Number one, yeah. Besides those, my favorite, I miss Saturday nights. I miss not feeling bad for relaxing, because now I'm at home and every day feels the same. So every minute that I'm unproductive, I just feel like I should be doing something. But on Saturday nights, I really feel like it's earned. Spent the whole week in school, worked hard, been to your sport, been to your art, and now Saturday, just chill. And I miss feeling free for just relaxing.
Thanks for those answers, Didi. Please stay safe. To all our families, we're thinking of you. We miss you. We'll be back next week with another installment of Spotlight Q&A. All the best.